Welcome to One-on-One with Expert Flyer. This is your host, Lisa Caslin. Hey, do you need some help simplifying the flight booking process while still maximizing your frequent flyer miles? Well, if so, today's guest may have a solution for you. Bayram Annakov is the founder and CEO of App in the Air, an all-in-one tech platform for frequent flyers. Welcome. How you doing?
Hi, Lisa. I'm good. How are you?
Good to hear your voice, Byram. I am well, and we want to know a little bit more about your really awesome app. So tell us about App in the Air.
Well, I'd say that first of all, the reason we're App in the Air is because of this great movie that you've probably seen is Up in the Air with George Clooney, and basically our vision is to build an app for that kind of frequent travelers that want to get the most out of their loyalty programs, want to make sure that they manage and know what's going on and what happens during their travels, and feel they are in control. That's our goal, and that's why we built App in the Air.
Awesome. Okay. So if I was to use your application and I wanted to, book a flight, and I wanted to make sure that I was using or maximizing my points effectively, how does that work in real life?
Well, first of all, when you book on some travel apps or websites, you never know how many points you're gonna get if you book this fare or this fare. And actually, by the way, Expert Flyer helps you with that sometimes. But our vision is that we want to help get that information when you are researching your travel, when you're booking your travel, know how many points you're going to get, what kind of perks you're entitled to given your loyalty tier and your status at the moment. And at the same time, you don't want to apply all of those filters that you typically apply, like you're a fan of Delta. Why in this world you have to filter by Delta, no layovers, morning flights? You want the smart apps out there to actually learn from your way of booking, from your way of traveling, and tailor the search results and the recommendations to your way of travel. And that's what App in the Air does. In a nutshell, it learns from you and your choices and tries to make it much more easier and much more, I'd say, useful to make the whole booking process easier, smarter, and useful for you. Given we learn from you. That's the idea.
Very, 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 very smart. So you have somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 million users at this point, right?
That's right. Over 6 million now.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so you must have some really cool data and insights that you're looking at, sort of a crystal ball, I would imagine. What are some of the trends? What are some of the trends that you're seeing develop now as air travel is picking up a bit?
That's a good one. Let me list three of them. Two of them are going to be rational, like die-hard facts, but the third one will be more like emotional, especially for a frequent flyer. Because I do like 500 hours in the air each year. And, at the end of the day, it's not only about rationality, it's sometimes about emotion. So the two rational ones are the following. First of all of our travelers are looking for flexibility. I mean, we prefer fundable rates rather than non-refundable rates. We want to post-pay rather than prepay. Say if it's about the hotels, we want to make sure that if our plans change, and they really change because of the new travel restrictions popping up all over the world each day, We want to make sure that we are in control. That's why the number one trend that we're seeing in the bookings is that travelers want flexibility, and we want to make sure that we offer that flexibility and that information that you actually want to have to make sure that you have this feeling of being in control. The second,
No, go ahead. That's great.
yeah. The second one is I think it directly correlates with the previous one, which is the shortening booking windows. And you know what? Airlines are crazy and angry at us because of this, but actually we're like hacking their revenue management systems. Let me explain. So typically, the shorter is your booking window, the higher is the price. And it was the case when we had a lot of business travel going on. Like, well, I need to travel to Atlanta tomorrow for a business meeting. I'm happy to pay up to $500 for economy class from Seattle to Atlanta. But the problem is, as all of us know that business travel is virtually non-existent right now. It's like based on the quotes of the airline CEOs, it's in the range of 15 to 30% of the 2019 levels. So there is virtually no business travel happening. So that means that the revenue, the pricing algorithms that are there in place at the airlines, they cannot rely on that last minute business traveler willing to pay $500 for a flight from Seattle to Atlanta. And that's why the algorithms, they are broken. I mean, they don't know what to do because this is unprecedented for them. They have never experienced something like this in the last 3 years. So what airlines really have to do is that to disable, to turn them off. And that's why what we're seeing right now is that the prices with a shorter fares for the shorter booking windows are not that different from the longer booking windows, which means that the overall, and because of the flexibility that all of us are looking for, the booking windows are shortening. The pricing algorithms or revenue management systems are broken. They cannot rely on the data of the previous year or something like that. And we're seeing the shortening booking windows happening right now, which is great for us, willing to, save the nickel on our business travel, but might not be that great for an airline. And those two were rational ones. But there's this one, Lisa, irrational one that I'm really amazed of. So I'm booking a travel from Seattle to Dallas for a meeting with American Airlines, and they have a wide body for a flight from Seattle to Dallas, which is a couple of hours. You have a wide body and an upgrade to first class, which is basically a lie flat seat, is like $110.
Wow.
So I'm flying, exactly. I'm flying lie flat seat with a wide body on a domestic flight, which in a pre-COVID times was something unimaginable. And that's what I like, really, because I'm looking for those options and those opportunities. And the reason for that is that wide bodies cannot be used for the international travel because of the travel restrictions. But at the same time, those wide bodies have to be operated in order to make sure that you don't have to do the whole recertification of pilots and stuff like that. So you have to have those wide bodies to operate domestically. So we're getting a chance to fly body on a domestic flight for really nickels. Yeah. That's what I like. I was visiting Delta office like a couple of weeks ago, and we were discussing this. This is like unimaginable in 2019, but this is what we're getting. And for those frequent flyers and expert flyers like us, this is something like really cool.
So, but I mean, it's gonna come to an end. I mean,
It's got, yeah,
they're figuring it out as we
unfortunately.
speak,
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so what's your
Yeah.
prediction there? I mean, how much of a window do we have to still kind of jump on these great
Yeah,
deals?
sure, sure. First of all, before I answer this one, there's this movie that I really like, which is "Seize the Moment," Carpe Diem. I think it was Robin Williams. So what I'm saying is that please don't tell me sad news. I want to make sure that we enjoy this time. We're not talk about the time it ends. We enjoy these times. We seize the moment. But
You're right.
you're absolutely right. It's gonna come to an end. When? I think I cannot answer that question really. I mean, it's so unpredictable. The trajectory of virus and a trajectory of the decisions by the governments, which are a mix of economic and health and maybe something else we have no idea about. I cannot predict that
Yeah.
one. That's why.
Hello?
I'm sorry, I got
Oh,
disconnected.
okay. I lost you there
Yeah,
for a moment.
I'm sorry for that. Yeah. So, so that I mean, I don't know when this is going to end, but I want to make sure we seize this moment. We focus on what we have right now because it's absolutely. I think it's not realistic to try to predict future because I think only God can predict the future, and I'm definitely not a God. So I think that we can't do that. But
Okay.
let's
Well,
focus on what we have now.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And
Yeah.
I do like that philosophy. We all need to sort of live in the moment a little bit more, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean, do you think that holiday travel might get lucky?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Uh, I, I think that overall there is definitely overcapacity on the market. Yes, many airlines they saw an opportunity to renew their fleet and thus actually reduce the capacity, trying to have like sustain the prices that they had pre-COVID. But overall, I think we're right now we're in a good spot of having overcapacity on our market, and that means every oversupply assumes the lower prices. So my feeling, we can take advantage of this, and I think the kind of promotions most of the airlines and hotel chains are doing right now, like Hyatt is doing this 30% or 50% acceleration for my nights to get to the global list and stuff like that. I think now is the right time. Now is a great time. So if you save those couple of bucks that on traveling to your office, now that you can work remotely, spend them on travel, because I think travel is uh, the most effective way of seizing the moment and taking the most out of the time that we're living in this world. And this you live only once. Make sure that you live those moments and you exploit that opportunity.
Very well said. Very well said. All right.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, let's talk a little bit about airline loyalty programs. And just,
Mm-hmm.
in general, what are your thoughts? I mean, things have really changed. There used to be a lot more transparency, in terms of understanding
Mm-hmm.
how many points you need, and that seems to have really changed. Do you have any tips for our listeners, and maybe just in general, regular old
Mm-hmm.
travelers who aren't up in the air
Mm-hmm.
half the time? What are your thoughts? Do you think airline loyalty programs
Mm-hmm.
really can help? Do you think, are there tricks and tips that we can
Mm-hmm.
adopt?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, let me just make sure that we're on the same page. Many airlines had to use their loyalty programs or the customer bases that they have as a collateral for loans that they got from the market. Like for
Mhm.
instance, the total valuation of the top four loyalty programs is something like 70 billion.
Yeah, it's
And
enormous.
frankly, this is what we are worth to the investors and to the borrowers of the airlines. We are loyal customers who are worth that much
Uh-huh.
in total. So airline understands that, and they're doing their best right now to make sure that we're still loyal, which I'm seeing actually, at least with the Sky team and the Hyatt, which I'm a loyal member of, that I'm seeing a lot of promotions that are that the very basic reason of those promotions is to make sure they don't lose that loyalty. And I think now is the great time to get that first status. Like you probably know that if you're Hyatt globalist, that you can get the American Airlines Platinum in a matter of a couple of flights, really.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of status matches, mileage runs, and stuff like that, which are unprecedented for the pre-COVID times. And I would first my first advice is subscribe to all of this newsletters of the airline of the loyalty programs that you're interested in. There are a lot of promotions going on right now as we speak.
Uh-huh.
And what that means for us, that we can get a higher tier status for a lower investment, and that's great.
Yeah.
So that is my effort. And the very reason for this is that uh, everyone now understands what the loyalty program is worth for, because they use this as a collateral, and
Uh-huh.
they cannot allow to have a huge a huge churn rates for their loyal members, because if that happens, the collateral starts to value lower, which means they're not getting enough loans or getting loans with a higher interest rates, which means it's a huge problem or a challenge for those players. So I think now is the great time to subscribe to those newsletters. I mean, Hyatt just yesterday sent me a letter that they have 50% acceleration for some of the destinations, stuff like that. Yeah, American Airlines is doing this platinum mileage run and stuff. Do that now, because now it is very asymmetric, which means that when everyone is having a hard time, this is a great time to actually get something. Like when I'm renting an apartment, I was able to negotiate a 2 month free of a rent, because it's a crisis. A crisis is
Ah.
something, yeah, you can get advantage of. And I think we are in this position that we can take advantage of this. And I don't think it's a win-lose game. I think airlines win as well. So it's more like an agreement of, if I demonstrate you my loyalty, you are happy at these challenging times, to give you something unprecedented. That's a win-win kind of game going, and that's what I like about these times. That's my like key advice, I would say.
I think it's great, and I appreciate all of your wisdom. Really, really valuable education that you've shared with us today. So,
Sure.
if folks want to learn a little bit more about App in the Air, I assume that it is both an iOS app and an Android friendly app.
Yeah, yeah, we're iOS and Android. We're in the Samsung Store and Google Play. And yeah, please feel free to download and do let me know if you have any ideas how we can make it better for that kind of expert flyers as you are.
Oh, thank you so much. Listen, have a great rest of your day, and we hope to talk to you again sometime.
Thank you, Lisa. You have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.